It's been about 5 days, I think, since I took delivery of my M2. I got the LCI 2025 Grigio Telesto model. And I made a couple of videos on it so far, and I've heard from a few people. It's a small channel. I'm not going to pretend like I've been inundated. But I heard from a few people sort of asking for opinions on colours. They've gone for a certain colour, and they're like, oh, what's your thoughts on it? I've still got time to change it, that kind of thing. So I thought I'd make a video ranking all of the colours from my least favourite through to my favourite. But before I get started, right, this is the most subjective thing anyone can do. I really shouldn't have to say this, but it's the internet, right? So if I say that I don't like or I'm not a fan of a colour that you do like or you've gone for, it's okay. I am acutely aware that my favourite colour is going to be at the bottom of everyone else's lists, and that's okay. But when people are buying a car, they like that, they get comfort from hearing somebody else likes the thing that they've chosen, right? It validates your choice. But conversely, if I say I'm not a fan of the one you've gone for, if that sparks like an aggressive emotional reaction to the point where you want to type out some abuse, just know you're the problem, and you should probably reevaluate your decision to be online, right? It's just personal preference, and I'm going to say that a lot as I go through this. It's all personal preference, so there's no right order for colors of a car. Anyway, let's get started. So there are 14 colors in the M2 range for the LCI. You've got your standard colors, a couple of individuals here, which I'm not sure why they're available, right? And it doesn't matter, but there's a couple here. But then there's 4 additional new ones for the 2025 model, which on the UK configurator, we have to jump away into the separate one here, which is weird. It's a really poor website. You can't spin the car around, you can't change the color of the wheels, but you've got your 4 new individual colors down here. So it's not the greatest site, but our UK or the European configurator is, in my opinion, a lot better than the US one, apart from it being sort of bright white, which is a bit eye-blinding. But yeah, so there's 14 colours in total, and let's start with my least favourite, which is Alpine White. By far and away, this is just not great. Now, I've got each of the colours lined up in a tab at the top, and I've tried to keep it as consistent as possible by using YouTube videos, but there's no way I can sort of represent all the colours accurately. They all look different, like the colours look different based on who took the shots, what time of day it was, the lighting, that kind of thing. But yeah, Alpine White is my absolute least favourite of all the M2 colours. I used to have a 430 diesel, the F Series 430 diesel in white, and that looked absolutely stunning, especially with the M Sport or the M Performance decals on the side and black spoiler. It contrasted it quite nicely, but for me, there's just no redeeming features here on the M2. It neutralizes the look of the M2, in my opinion, which I'm going to say a lot. So yeah, Alpine White is absolutely bottom of the list. And I think it is for most people. So if you look at a good yardstick for measuring the popularity of a color, is just to go on the used car site and just look at how many are available on the used car market. And there's not too many white ones there, because I don't think many people have gone for it. So yeah, 14th place, Alpine White. Okay, next up is one of the new colors for the LCI, and it's Skyscraper Grey. Now, quite clear, obviously my car, which is Grigio Telesto, is going to be near the top. So it's a bit, well, you must like grey. Why is Skyscraper Grey like near the bottom? I just don't see this color being anything. I don't know. It just doesn't stand out to me. It's a very sort of bland sort of grey. It just doesn't jump out at me. Again, it's just all personal preference. There's nothing really I can't really articulate why, but it's just a sort of color that reminds me of something you'd find on like an early sort of late 90s Mondeo kind of gray. It's just not for me. And I know a lad at work who's ordered an M2 in Skyscraper Grey, got an excellent deal on it. He's paying half the monthly payments that I am, but it's a 2-year lease rather than a PCP deal, which is the deal. I've got the deal where you get the balloon payment at the end. You can choose to own it. He doesn't have that, but yeah, he's getting his half price, which was a bit of a kick in the ass. But yeah, Skyscraper Grey for me, it just doesn't tickle my pickle. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't jump out. Even with the black wheels would be my in almost every case. Black wheels for me. A lot of people like the new edition of the silver wheels in the M2. I'm not a fan. Again, it's just each to their own. But yeah, Skyscraper Grey is in 13th place. Okay, this one is going to be quite contentious because I think a lot of people really do like the blue, Portamao Blue. But for me, I'm just not a fan of blue cars. The only, off memory, I think the only blue car I've ever had was a Z4M in Interlagos blue, which I didn't. I was a used car, so I didn't really. They're quite rare. I didn't have much of a choice in the color. There was just not many options at the time. But Interlagos blue suited the Z4M. But on the M2, this video is absolutely dreadful. There's not many videos of Portamao Blue with black wheels. It would have to be black wheels for me. Blue with silver wheels, again, just like the Alpine White, for me, it just takes away all the presence in the theatre of an M car. And I know blue is quite historically this is an awful video. It's a traditional colour for M cars, right? I mean, there's even blue in the M logo, but yeah, it's just not for me. It's just not. It just doesn't jump out. But you know, if you love blue cars, it is a gorgeous colour. It's a gorgeous blue. You can see the flake in the metallic sort of jumping out. So I think in sort of bright, especially US sunlight where it's exceptionally bright, we don't get the best of sunlight over here in the UK. That flake would probably pop out really nicely, but yeah, just lower. Out of all the colours, it's just lower down on the list for me. Portamao Blue. All right, next one, another new colour for 2025 LCI. It's the Fire Red, otherwise known as Vegas Red in the US. Same colour, just I don't know why it's got two different names. So they've changed this. So for the pre-LCI, they had, is it Toronto? Yeah, Toronto Red. I keep getting mixed up. I had a 3 Series in Melbourne Red, but it was Toronto Red that the original M2 was in. Toronto Red looked quite nice. It was very common, but it looked really nice. With the contrasting M Performance parts, it looked gorgeous. Toronto Red, black wheels, the carbon body kit, stunning. This, I'm not, it's not for me. I very nearly bought one as well. When I was looking at the pre-order list of all the cars coming in, there was a Fire Red with black wheels in the Vinasca, sort of the red highlighted seats. And I thought that, just thinking about it, I hadn't seen Fire Red at the time. And I just thought, I'm going to take a punt. The car ended up being already reserved to somebody, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't go for it. The Fire Red, it's very deep. It's very sort of crimson. It's another one of those colours that changes depending on what video you're looking at. It does go really deep in sort of, shiny is not the right word, but it's got like it seems like it's got a really strong clear coat to it. But yeah, it just doesn't strike me as sort of a sports car red. Again, you might just totally disagree and think that looks really sporty, which it does. But yeah, it's just not a red that I'm a fan of. So yeah, that's quite low down on the list. That's the Fire Red. If I was to go for Fire Red, it would have to be with the black wheels. Again, videos are scarce. There's not many good quality videos showing Fire Red with black wheels, but BMW Mountain View Geniuses have got another video of Fire Red, or Vegas Red as it's called over there, which shows it in a different light. But I think, yeah, it's this one here. This is another view of it. Again, not the best quality. Can I change the quality of this? Yeah, why is it defaulted to that? That's enough. But yeah, you can see it there in sunlight. I suppose it does lighten up a little bit in direct sunlight, but it just doesn't jump out to me. I'm not going to lie. But that's the combination I would have went for with those red highlights on the seats. That does look quite good against the Fire Red, but it would have to be black wheels. But ultimately, it's not a color that I personally would have gone for. But I see the appeal. It's still a gorgeous looking car, but yeah, quite low down on the list. Okay, next one. Very few videos of Java Green. But this is a colour that I think does look quite striking. It's bright, it's vibrant, very saturated, unique. You're not going to see much like this out on the road. I think there are a few sort of, I think F-Gen M4s and M3s that were done in a similar green. But it is a gorgeous colour, I'm not going to lie. I do like it, but at my age, in my 40s, I just wouldn't be comfortable with driving a car that loud. Maybe if I was in my mid-20s, at the latest, maybe early 30s, I'd be okay driving a car like that. But, you know, I don't know. As much as I don't really care what other people think, I do feel a bit old to be driving a car that loud, that shouty. So it looks gorgeous, but it's just, yeah, this is not the bottom. We're away from the bottom of the list now, so it's not a colour I dislike. But out of all the rest of them, in comparison to the rest of the colours, this would stack sort of lower down than those. But it is a lovely colour. I do get it. I haven't seen it in person yet, but from the few videos that I've seen, Yeah, that's where it is. Okay, the next one is Voodoo Blue. Again, very few videos of the M2 in Voodoo Blue. There are a few G-Series G82s which have been done in Voodoo Blue, which you can see if you want to go check out what that color looks like. It's a Toyota color. But for me, again, it just doesn't strike me as unique enough to want to spend the money for an individual paint option. You know, it's if you were to take that blue and put it on a, I don't know, like a Renault or a Citroen or I don't know, like a Vauxhall or a GM car, it just looks like a regular blue to me. It works on the M2. I'm not gonna lie, it does work. It would need to be black wheels, but again, I don't know why people shooting videos in portrait, man. Come on, this is not even a short. It's 1 minute 40. What are you doing, mate? Come on. You can't really see much on that, but yeah, I did consider it when I was choosing my car. It's a really strong blue. It's quite a unique shade. It is, but again, if you were to stick that on any other car, it wouldn't jump out at me. So I guess it's just me. I'm just not a fan of blue cars. So that's where it is. But we're sort of in the middle of the color ranges now, so it's not my most disliked color. Next one, Twilight Purple. I do like the purple. I must admit, I really do like it. It pops out in direct sunlight. Again, this is not the best quality of it. Why is YouTube defaulting to 720p? Turn it in, man. Pack it in. But so yeah, this is from the BMW blog site. I've got gigabit internet. Why is it buffering? Come on, man. But you can see, like in the shade, it sort of loses a lot of that pop. It doesn't really jump out. Could be just poor camera work, or not poor camera work. There's nothing you can do about it. You just point the camera at the car. But just the lighting maybe. But yeah, purple. I very nearly bought a Z4 in Thunder Night purple. So I don't dislike purple at all. It is a lovely color. It's unique. You don't see many purple cars out on the road. But I think Twilight Purple is very similar to Thunder Night, in which is available on the regular 2 Series. So I don't feel like if I'd paid for Twilight Purple, the car would feel individual enough to warrant that extra premium. It's a gorgeous color, but worthy of paying that much to get into a purple when you could go for Thunder Night already on the regular 2 Series. Yeah, I'm not sure. But you can see the flake there popping out. That really it does look gorgeous. Not gonna lie. Again, black wheels for me, it would have to be. I'm just one of those guys. I just prefer black wheels. The color of the wheels changes the dynamic of the paint, in my opinion. And yeah, black wheels would look wonderful. I do not like those decals. That's awful. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. What are you doing? But yeah, that's Thunder Night. Oh, sorry, Twilight Purple. And that is in 8th position. Okay, in 7th, we've got Frozen Portamao Blue. Now, this is way up the list. Now, regular Portamao Blue is 12th in my list of colours, and Frozen is at 7th. And that's just because BMW Frozen paints are absolutely gorgeous. I really do like them. That sort of matte sheen satin finish to them looks gorgeous. Again, this isn't... And actually, this video is not too bad. This guy here, he's a car YouTuber. And he's got quite a few videos, mostly Mercedes. But yeah, he's taken delivery of a Frozen Portamao Blue. With the black wheels, I must admit that does look nice. I really do like that. I wouldn't go for it personally, but I get the appeal. The Frozen paints are amazing. They're very difficult to look after, so I've heard. You've got to be careful what sort of cleaning products you use on them, just because the clear coat doesn't react well to certain polishes and shampoos. But I do like that, the Portamao Blue. But whether it's something I'd want to spend the extra for, I don't know. I think there's always going to be a colour that I'd want to go for above blue. That leads us into 6th place, Zandvoort Blue. Now, this colour's obviously been around since day one of the G87 coming out, but it is a gorgeous shade. It's almost like it's baby blue, basically. And it works. It really does work on the M2. It suits it to a T, and I love this. And I've seen one of these in person. It's gorgeous. It is really gorgeous. In my opinion, it works all day long, but it works even better when you've got the full M carbon kit on it. It really breaks up that baby blue and adds a lot of contrast to the colour. So yeah, Zandvoort Blue it's one of the standard colours, so you don't have to pay a premium for it, but it does look gorgeous. It really does. There's something about it. It's very unique. You don't see many cars in that sort of style of blue, so it really jumps out. So yeah, Zandvoort Blue is in 6th. 5th, This is where we start getting a little bit controversial. Sao Paolo Yellow. Now, this colour's been around for the G82 and the G80. You know, I guess the G83 as well. So the M3s and the M4s. And I thought it was absolutely vile. It was like lung butter yellow is what I called it. So when it became available on the M2, I remember chuckling with the salesman when I was picking my car, and I was like, Sao Paulo. I was like, we were like laughing away at like who would choose that. But now that I've seen it, it really works on the M2. It really works on the M2. It looks stunning. I think it might need some carbon parts on it again to break up such a bold color, but this really works for me, especially with those black wheels. That is gorgeous. However, again, just like Java Green, I don't think I could live with this color. It's so different. It's a head turner, absolutely. But living with this day in and day out, I think after 6 months or so, I might get fatigued with a color like this, you know. And in the age that I am, driving around in a bright yellow car, just the signals that sends out, I don't know. As much as I don't give a flying fuck in a high wind, what anyone thinks, I don't want to be driving around in a car that bright, piss yellow, lung butter yellow, right? Whatever you want to call it. It looks amazing. It looks gorgeous. So it ranks 5th on my list out of the 14 colours, but not one that personally I'd choose. But I absolutely adore that. It looks amazing. It really works. Right, 4th place, Brooklyn Grey. This again might be controversial. Eyebrows twitching. Well, hang on a minute. You've said you've criticised colours for being common. This is one of the most common colours. Yeah, this colour is exceptionally common across a lot of the BMWs in the G series range. M3s, M4s, regular 4 series, regular 2 series. It's available on pretty much all the colours, all the range. But it's a beautiful colour, and it's another one of those colours that changes depending on the lighting and the camera. But I don't know. It's such a unique shade of grey, and especially against like the black wheels, sort of the shadow line features of the car, sort of the black edging around the windows. It just really works. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's a beautiful colour. Would have to be with the black wheels again for me, as with most of the colours. But I think that's absolutely stunning. Brooklyn Grey is just, I've got a soft spot for it. I love it. So that's in 4th place. 3rd place, another grey, Frozen Pure Grey. So this comes in 3rd place because, again, I love the matte. I love the frozen paints that BMW have got to offer. I wish they'd done frozen black for the M2. That would have been something else. But Frozen Grey looks stunning. Personally, again, it's not a colour I would go for. I've seen one in person, and again, it changes in the light, but it's very similar to silver, and I've just got a thing for silver cars. Silver is very taxi. This obviously does not look like a taxi, let's be clear. I'm not saying that, but silver is very common. And this is very borderline silver, but it looks something else. It looks amazing and really works on the M2, especially with the black wheels. That is phenomenal. Gorgeous car. It's a very short video. But you can see the matte sheen there on the rear of the car. Difficult paint to look after. Not something I think I'd want to take on as a daily car, but yeah. 3rd place, Frozen Grey. 2nd place, right, this is where we're getting my top 2. Sapphire Black. I can see people like raging. What do you mean black? So originally I bought a black M2. I went up to a dealership in Newcastle in the UK, placed an order for a used Sapphire Black M2. Pretty much exactly this one without the cognac interior. And had the Vanasco interior. But this looked like an absolute weapon in person. Now, obviously black is one of the most common colours across every car ever. But it really works on the M2. It looks so evil. It looks just so menacing and mean. You see this thing in person, and the black just... Some people might say it minimizes the features of the M2. It really doesn't. Once the light hits a lot of the contour of the car, the clear coat just brings out the lines, and contrasting against sort of the flat black areas, it just brings out this evil, menacing look, and it works so well. With the bicolor wheels, I think that's the best combination for the black. I bought a used black with bicolor, cancelled the order, bought a black on black, cancelled that order, and went for the next one, which is in first for me. But this just looks so good. It looks so good. I absolutely love this. Black is... Oh, my M4 was in black. I've had a lot of black cars. Black is my favourite colour. and that is something else. It is evil. So yeah, second place, Sapphire Black. Absolutely love that. I think why the black? This should be blacked out. I don't know. This is obviously a US car. It's got the front sort of reflector there. So this is in the US. It's BMW Mountain Genius. So yeah, that's second place. First place, obviously, it's the color that I've gone for, my M2, and that is Grigio Telesto. This will be, I'm fully aware it's going to be bottom of the list for most people because it's just grey, right? And it commands a $3 or $4 grand premium to buy grey paint, which most people think is absolute insanity. But it's one of those colors which is really difficult to capture. I've made a short video actually in one of my videos showing just how it changes across different lights. So in some lights, like here, it looks like Brooklyn grey. So this is in sort of, it's not sunlight, but it's a bright day. The sun isn't directly hitting the car, and it sort of looks like Brooklyn grey. Some of the lights, it kind of goes, in fact, that also looks a bit like Brooklyn grey as well, but it's a bit sort of more pastel. In direct sunlight, it goes almost beige, and then in shadow, so this was inside the bay of the BMW garage as I was pulling the sheet off and taking delivery of it, it almost looks sort of mineral grey, Dravit grey, like a really deep, bold grey. So it's a Lamborghini colour, Grigio Telesto, and that's basically why you pay a premium for it. I've personally had a soft spot for the Grigio colours since I bought a brand new, as good as brand new M4 back in 2018, and I saw a couple of M4s done in Grigio Medio and Grigio Telesto. Grigio Telesto is Italian for pale grey. Grigio Medio, which is a Ferrari colour, is Italian for medium grey. And since I saw those back in 2017, 2018 on an M4, I've just had this obsession with the Grigio colours. And when I found out that the M2 was being done in Telesto, it wasn't even a question. There was no hesitation for me. I just cancelled the black and went straight for the Telesto. It is by far my favourite of all of the colours. It's not going to be for everybody, but for me it works so well, especially with the gloss black wheels, as with most of the colours that I prefer. It works so well. So yeah, that's top of my list. Grigio Telesto, ranked from 14th to 1st. That's going to be very different to what most people's list would be, but yeah, the individualizers, that's not a thing. The colours look so inaccurate. So this is the catalog you get given when you buy or you spec an M2 or any BMW, I guess. They give you this sort of link to a web portal with the car rendered. I think it's Autodesk VRED to do the rendering in, which is one of the software packages that I use. But the colors are just not accurate at all in this visualizer, and the colors differ based on the monitor you're looking at, right? And but yeah, that's very different. It's not too different, but you can see how that look at that compared to what I've just shown you. It's mental. Absolutely nothing like it. So yeah, that's my favorite of all of the colors. 14 available. Some are standard, some command a premium. White doesn't. Not many people go for white, but yeah, yellow, you got your Zandvoort Blue and all the others up here. But the individual colors in the UK, you have to bop away into a separate site. Right, so there you go. That's my list and my thoughts on pretty much all of the colors. Let me know what you think. A lot of people are going to disagree. A lot of people are going to criticize me for going for Grigio Telesto because it'll be at the bottom of their list. I don't give a flying fuck in a high wind again. It's just all down to personal preference. But yeah, those are all the colors for the 2025 M2. Let us know what you've picked. If you're indecisive about the color you've gone for and you're going to change it to something else, let us know. I can pass my opinions and my thoughts if you're interested. But most of them I've just dumped into here anyway. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you're here, I'm going to throw this up again and see what happens. Cheers.